Hey, this is Yuri Lowenthal. I play Peter Parker in Spider-Man and PS4 Spider-Man. And when I'm not swinging around the city, saving it from crime, I'm listening to the Raw Dogs podcast. They talk about video games and beer, two things that I like very much. So, check them out.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Raw Dogs. This is our first one back in over a month. We took a brief hiatus and we were going to come back for our 1-year anniversary spectacular. Unfortunately though, Dylan's kitty cat Goblin is not feeling well, and our thoughts are with you, Goblin and Dylan.
Goblin.
And since it was an odd day to record, Nick's brother from, I think, Saudi Arabia is here. There's a lot I don't know about Nick still, but apparently. So he couldn't record tonight, but we have some of the other usual suspects. I'm, of course, your host, Brad. Welcome to Raw Dogs. Who do we got over here?
This is Dominic, back for episode number 3 for me.
Yeah.
I guess that means this is now a tradition.
Episode number 4, technically, since you were here for 2 parts of Naughty Dog.
I guess I was.
Yes.
One drunken sitting, however.
Yeah.
So
the illusion has been taken away, folks. And who's that over there?
Hi, my name's Tom. It's great to be here.
Tom, tell us about yourself.
Hi. Well, you know, I'm tall.
He is.
I'm a bit of a ginger. I'm letting my beard grow out, not quite as long as Brad's, but I've officially let myself go for the winter.
You do have a little bit of a beard. I couldn't tell without the right lighting.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And I'm also on another podcast on this same channel called The Dogcast, where we all get together and talk about, you know, the things, the goings on.
The important stuff.
Yeah, beer and video games.
Beer and video games.
Yeah.
Video games and beer.
And we are, of course, part of the Greenlit Podcast Network. To check out all of the other amazing content, go to greenlistpodcast.com. And thank you to our Patreon pals.
All of them.
And you got our major producers, Tom. What are their names?
Tyler Keller, Mark Nino, Brian Ward, and others.
We appreciate all of you. Thank you. If you want access to a lot of our episodes early, it's like the $5 tier or $3 tier. It's really cheap. And It would mean a lot to us because we do have to buy at least microphones and beer to keep ourselves entertained.
Mostly beer.
We drink
the
a lot of beer.
Yeah.
I work at a brewery and I still spend way too much on beer. So yes, we are going to discuss today movies that we think would make cool video games. We're going to make like kind of little pitches and talk about them. But before we get there, Tom, would you regale us with your tales of receiving Xboxes and PlayStations?
Wow, yeah, we officially survived the first week of new consoles almost. We're recording this on a full week since the Xbox Series X came out.
Yep.
And that is all I've been playing for the most part, the only console that I've been playing.
Did you get a PS5?
I do have a PS5.
You haven't even opened it, right?
Right.
Wow.
After I talked to you, I'm like, we're just going to leave that in the box there for a little bit.
You know what makes me mad is I have one of the 1 out of 1,000, 1 out of 2,000, 10,000, whatever it is that doesn't work, and you're sitting here with one that works in a box. Probably.
Maybe. You don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying the Series X. I'm playing pretty much exclusively Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and it's a weird console launch. I don't know if you're getting that vibe because you have a Series X as well, right?
I've been playing the shit out of it.
Okay, I see you popped on.
Yeah,
pop on now. Yeah.
So I also received both consoles. I received the Xbox Series X first, and first thing I noticed was it was a little disappointing that they didn't change any of the menu. It's the same old user interface that you're used to if you've been playing the Xbox One, which is fine because it's familiar. You will notice how much faster everything loads, which is fantastic.
Way faster. Yes.
I am very impressed. I mean, I'm already in love with my Series X. It's a sexy little system. Mine's sitting on its side, and I still like the way it looks. I think it looked better vertical, but I turned it on and just like, boom, menu. There it is.
Yeah,
and then I
absolutely.
click a game, and it's like right there. Even I just tried I've downloaded like everything, all the updates, so I just started many different games, but Master Chief Collection, I just turned it on, went Halo Reach, it loaded the first level in like 3 seconds, and I was playing.
Yeah.
And it looks great. It plays great. I'm very impressed with all of it.
It's odd because, with the Xbox, there's not really, there's no exclusives, basically, like first-party exclusives, and not really any games that show what the console is capable of doing, that you're usually used to at a console launch. Usually there's at least one game where you put in, you can show your friends, and they can be like, holy shit, I got to get a new console. So just to prove to myself that I'm in the new generation is that I've been going back and playing all these games that I had on my Xbox One, and because a lot of them have upgrades and patches that make them, upgraded for Series X. But mainly it's just going in and playing all these old games and then realizing, holy shit, this is running at 60 frames per second now in 4K. And that's been kind of like my next gen experience right now. Like Forza Horizon 4.
Looks fantastic.
It's great, and it's running at 60 frames per second now, and it's fucking awesome. And Assassin's Creed looks really good, and it's so awesome that it loads fucking fast now.
You saw some of that the other day too, right, Dom?
I'm very jealous of you two, first and foremost.
It's okay, Dom. We still love
So
you.
I went over to his neighbor's house.
You're so much nicer than Dylan, who'd be making fun of us for getting new
Yeah,
consoles.
you guys are so dumb.
Well,
Nothing to play, man.
when you say like the Xbox doesn't have any exclusives, the PlayStation didn't either. PlayStation 4 when it came out, and it did just fine. So I think in a couple years, which is probably what Dylan would say, I'm going to wait a couple years because that's what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to wait for like a Slim to come out so that I don't have this honking massive.
Yes.
It's smaller than I thought it would be.
The PS5?
Oh, no, I'm talking about the Series X.
Yeah.
The PS5 is bigger than I thought it would
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have yet to see one in person.
Well,
Like,
maybe
actually
open the box, man.
be. It's
I think it's about the same size as the box that it comes in.
I mean, the box is enormous. and I'm
straight
just
up,
like, holy shit.
the PS5 is ugly. I think it is an ugly looking system. I don't like the way it sits with all of its weird contours. I mean, I guess I don't have it vertically, but even then, to me, it's like modern art gone wrong.
So you had to put the little stand on it to.
The stand doesn't even really attach that well to the bottom if you set it on its side, but I've removed it from the stand because I have to box it up and send it away.
So tell us all about this story, man. Like,
Okay.
I'm really curious to hear what the fuck you've been going through with your PS5.
Well, I plugged everything in right away, and you do the transfer of your user data over from one PS5 or your PS4 to your PS5, and then I hooked up an external hard drive and started just like trying to my PS4 games, and that was all working. But when I actually put in Spider-Man Miles Morales, which is going to be one of the first games that I played, I noticed it would only play for about 5 minutes, and then it got an error code I'm getting very familiar with, CE-108255-1. And
Championship edition.
oh my god, a game won't last 5 minutes for Spider-Man. I had Demon Souls work for about 10 minutes, Astro's Playroom for maybe about 20 minutes, but it always freezes and goes to the menu. No matter what, PlayStation 5 games won't play. PS4 games, however, they play fine. And
Interesting.
so I went to Twitter and I was just searching the error code, and there's a large number of people that have this and they're confused. And Sony, asked PlayStation, the Twitter account says, just follow us and send us a DM. We'll get back to you. So, okay, I did. And they said, go to our support site here, and here's the number. I'm like, I already did that.
Yeah.
And the chat line online, useless. They say you're going to have to call the number. And I'm like, well, just tell me that in the first place. And then I call the number, and they had me do a number of things, such as I had to rebuild a database. I actually had to load the system software onto a thumb drive.
I saw that.
Essentially wipe the PS5 and reinstall the system software.
What?
Yep. And
That's like beyond a factory reset.
Yeah, jeez Louise.
and I did that. and that didn't work. And then I spoke with a customer. When then this is all happening on Friday up until I had to go to work. And they're like, there's a couple other things, you'll have to call us back. I'm like, so Monday, I'm going to talk to you on Monday then. So I had to wait.
Jeez.
Monday at 10:59 in the morning, 55 seconds, I was ready to call them. And luckily I got on right away because I had to talk to a person for an hour and 15 minutes.
What?
Because I had to try a few
Like
other things.
You were on hold at that time. You were actually talking to a person.
I was on hold intermittently, but
Okay.
only for 2 minutes at a time. But
Okay.
I had to then go into safe mode again and try. There's a system update that isn't available from the main menu, which is available from there. And I'm like, I have a good feeling about this one. And then you had to go in and change the frame rate, like resolution to like -1. I forget what it all was, something like that. And crashed. It still crashed.
Oh my gosh.
Crash Bandicoot is still the main mascot of the PlayStation.
Oh, very good. Zinger. Got him, baby. Got him.
Hey,
And
you got that PS5? Sucks.
thank God I did get a really awesome customer representative because the first two I talked to were sacks of shit.
Yeah.
This lady, though, was just like, I understand it's Christmas morning for you. This sucks. You're great. We're sorry. I'm like, thank you. I feel validated.
Yeah.
I'm having a
Now
really
give me a
tough
free
time.
game, goddammit.
I don't want to go to Dylan and tell him it's broken.
Did you get her name?
I'm not going to, I don't want to say her name on here. Whatever.
Right.
But
I want to give her a Christmas card. That's all.
she
Right.
deserves one.
Yeah.
And then she said, what we're going to have to do is just escalate this. Here's your case file number. We're going to get back to you as soon as we know more.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, this is not acceptable. You don't get to say that. I need an answer. I have my new console. I spent a lot of money. I'm a poor boy. You need to help me out now. And I was speaking with a lawyer friend the day before, and he said some of the words I should say.
Yeah.
And so I said some of the words.
I will sue your ass.
I
will hear from my
heard
people.
her clicking her keyboard a little faster, and she's like, "I'll be right back." And then she's like, "Yeah, we agree. Like, we actually want you to send it in. We're going to take a look at this right away." I'm like, "Okay."
Wow.
And so they're going to send me a box. I'm going to send it in, and she's like, "I hope this is going to take care of it." I'm like, "This is still not enough because I bought this day one. I'm not going to be able to play my new system for a month. How are you compensating me for this time?"
Yeah.
And I
Here's
really
a subscription to Xbox Game Pass.
and and she's like, "Thanks for holding." I'm like, "No, it's fine. My Xbox works great." I'm like, "I'm sorry. I'm being sassy." She's like, "I get it." Ooh. Yeah, but
Nice.
she said that there will be some sort of compensation for me as well. Plus, she said, honestly, she doesn't think that they're going to be able to fix it, so they'll send me a new one.
Okay.
That she says, honestly, we don't think these are going to be something that can be fixed.
Oh, really?
And it's like, why don't you just tell that to people?
Did you try the new firm?
10,000 people or
I don't know the number, but I know that
Yeah.
there's more than there should be.
I feel like that's all they gave out. in the
Yeah, I wonder what are they going to?
10,000.
So instead of red ring, you got CE'd. Is that going to be like what this is going to be
CE
called?
108255-1.
Now,
They think it might be a GPU problem.
okay,
That's what people on Twitter are saying.
yeah. Did you try the new firmware that came out today?
New firmware that came out today.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll plug it back in and give it a try, but I have zero faith.
Okay. Yeah, it does sound like it's a low level
yeah,
issue
for
with them on the metal.
Like he had to wipe it clean and put a new.
With a USB drive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What if
usually-
you didn't have one of those.
And there's a number-
obviously you do,
yeah.
but
There's a number of people on Reddit. If you go to like the launch page, all the top posts are, do not use an external drive. Do
Yeah.
not use the rear ports at all. Only use the HDMI cord that is included.
Yeah.
Wait until because a number of people have been having their PS5 get bricked. And a lot of people that are having this 108255 problem, they say it's only gotten worse progressively. It's only gotten worse and worse.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
I'm happy to try and download this firmware, but I have
Yeah.
zero faith at this point if they've tried everything so far.
Sure.
yeah, so that sounds like a hardware thing, not a
Yeah,
software thing.
I know the notes for the new firmware were just very high level. So I think they were trying to just slyly fix. I mean, a lot of the issues that were happening because
Another problem, people were saying that if you are running the Amazing Spider-Man remastered and it goes into rest mode while it's running, that there's a chance it might brick your system.
yeah,
I'm like, that's not a good thing.
no, I mean,
Obviously, people are going to be playing that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and it's Spider-Man is supposed to be having a lot of issues for people. And you know what sucks more than anything is just trying to go find information on this, and everyone's posting about how much fun they're having playing their new PlayStation.
Yeah.
Luckily, though, the Series X has been a fantastic companion. I have played Tetris Effect Connected.
Did play some of that.
Like
For the first
crazy.
time. First time ever playing like a Tetris game in probably 10 years. And yeah, I really like it. I
Turn
didn't
the
know what
volume
I was,
up loud.
I didn't know what I was doing. Like, and I'm like, oh, this is just fucking Tetris. And then I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to like let these things drop as quickly as possible. And then like I started getting into the zone and like, oh, the music's starting to fucking rise up. It's starting to fucking become a techno song now.
Still every button and arrow and whatever you push, it still goes with the music. and all that?
Different sound effects for different songs and stuff. And the visuals, yeah, it's a huge part of it. Also,
kinda cool.
on the PS5 front, if you have the PS4 VR, make sure you go online with your serial number for your VR because they will give you an adapter for your PS5 to use the camera. I received mine in the mail. It was addressed to my place to someone else's name. So thank you, Sony, for consistently getting customer service right, but I knew what it was. So
We're working out some kinks right now. Yeah. Thanks, Mr. Sony. Yeah, you know,
and
like,
if your name is Gabe, good luck.
hey,
Look for something for Brad.
right, yeah. You know, like we talked about in the last Dogcast, the software's coming in hot. So I guess us early adopters, you know, we gotta fucking wade through that fucking quagmire sometimes.
I beat all of Celeste. Yeah, which was a dream. And I'll tell you what, the particle effects on Tetris, my cats have never cared about video games, really.
Until
Although Pickles did like Mario Galaxy on the remastered Mario stuff, just because like the pointer looks really enticing to cats when you move it around. But the particle effects on Tetris has even Martin getting up.
my Aria, my cat, was right next to the TV the entire time I was playing Nier Automata, and she was just at the little drone that's like following you around.
Oh, nice.
Trying to grab at him
So
the
you-
entire time. And I was like, this is great. And you never had an interactive video game with my cat before.
And you beat Nier Automata?
Yes.
Yes.
Just last. Well, so
When you say you beat it, you mean like
I
what
don't-
ending
I
out of
don't know.
26?
I've gotten 24 of the 26.
Yikers. Okay. You beat it more than me.
Okay. So, but the one that I didn't get was E, because you have to shoot all the like credits.
Yeah.
And I accidentally hit. I feel like I almost got to the end, and
You accidentally hit give up?
Yeah. Because I pushed. You know how like when it pops up, it's like yes or no.
Do you believe life is worth living? Are you a useless piece of poop?
No. Oh no, I made a mistake.
Damn it, yes.
It was a double negative. Shit.
But yeah, so that one I didn't get, and I was just like, I've just been playing this game to death, and I think I need to play something
Some
else.
distance.
Just 'cause, and at that point, my fingers were just because I'm not used to like all four of the triggers being in a video game.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that one you
have to use them all at the same time?
You're just going at it, yeah. Pretty
Oh,
much.
shit. Yeah.
So, my fingers hurt pretty good after
Yeah.
beating it, and then going, oh well, what happens if I play as the other character at this point? So it was like you unlocked all the chapters, and I was like, oh well, I'm gonna go back and obviously do that again. Mm-hmm. So I went back, and I was just like when I texted you, and I was like, dude, I'm in tears right now. There's that like, I mean, no spoilers for it, I guess, but there's one ending in particular where I was just like, oh no!
I like the one where you eat the fish.
Yeah, right.
It's like you're a robot. You're dead.
Yeah.
And it's given to you by a woman named Jackass.
Yeah.
Which is great. Just like the whole game is great.
Trying to explain that, like, what kind of game is it? Well, it's kind of an action exploration shooter.
It's
Shoot 'em up.
Every game you could possibly think of. rolled
Sure.
into one.
I've
It's-
downloaded it like 3 times on various Xboxes, including the Series X.
Yeah.
I'm going to get around to playing it.
When he told me he beat it, and he was like, dude, great, play it, great. And I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot.
Fantastic.
I turned it on. It's been sitting on my shelf forever. I turned it on, and it starts out as
You
like
bought it physically and haven't played it?
Yeah,
Oh.
that's what I do, man.
I have
Buy shit and I don't play it,
I have like 400 like games on every system downloaded now with just Game Pass and
Yeah, I know.
Gold
I need
and
to
stuff
get a
like
Series
that.
X. Chad won't shut the hell up about it, man.
Mm-hmm.
God. I went over to. So I think I was about to say this earlier, but I went over to his neighbor's place to watch him play Valhalla. Mm-hmm. And the fact that it loaded up in like 10 seconds, he was like, "Isn't that crazy?" And I was like, "Well, I don't have anything to gauge this off of because
Right.
this game just came out." And he was like, "Okay, we'll pick another game from Game Pass." And I was like, scrolling through it, and of course I get all the way down to the bottom. The Witcher's there, and I'm like, oh, I've played that. I know how long that takes. Let's see what that's like.
Yes.
He turned it on, and then it loaded, and I was like, do a fast travel to like the other side of the world.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay. And he clicked somewhere. I can't remember where. He looked down at his phone, and I went, okay, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And he looked up and went, oh my God. I literally looked down to look at my phone, and it's already ready to go.
Yeah,
I was like, Jesus.
There are videos of that game of people fast traveling, and the assets can't load fast enough when you, due to the hard drive being so, the SSD or whatever. So that's something that actually kind of breaks the game.
Yeah, I have a feeling that I'm going to throw my controller less at the TV every time I die
Yeah,
with the Series X.
Yeah.
'Cause I won't have to wait for that. Like, that was my one thing with Control was the fact that I had to sit there for a minute and a half.
Oh, Control. Yeah, you played through Control.
Yeah.
I did too. I love that game.
I will say, Demon Souls, the first 10 minutes did look amazing.
Yeah,
And
it looks great.
as the Xbox Series X is just so reliable and it's so clean. And I don't know, it seems like a really solid next gen version of the Xbox One
Yeah,
compared to the
An
PlayStation
upgrade.
5, which, man, that I hate the design. It looks dumb, but the controller, which you haven't held it yet, is the most next gen thing about that. Those the haptic feedback on those triggers, you don't understand how crazy it is. Like, you'll play a shooter and every gun has a different trigger. Like, they all, like, it can be harder to squeeze things. They can like set certain spots where it actually like clicks harder.
the haptic thing. Yeah,
What is the...
I like that.
And
I know it's not HD Rumble because that's Nintendo's thing.
it is something like an HD Rumble. Astro's Playroom is specifically designed to show how great the controller is, and it is. Like, it's amazing. You can, like, there's a claw game, and it's like so hard to like pull it down. And even if you don't have enough
Really?
coins, you can't like pull the trigger down.
That's cool.
Okay. I don't know if this is the right word, but like, how sturdy does that feel to the point where, like, how many games do you think you could play before that isn't a thing anymore? Or do you think that they've designed it in a way that
I think
is durable enough
Sony's.
to...
You mean how many companies are going to
hours?
utilize it?
Or how many
Well, not
hours?
o- I'm,
Oh,
I'm sure that
physically?
like if I play The Last of Us Part 2 1,000 times with just a bow and arrow, is
yeah.
it still gonna feel like
Well,
I'm
if
pulling a bow and arrow after the 1,000?
if you can only play the game for 5 minutes at a time, probably a long time because you're not going to play that often.
It's true.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, man. It's
physics.
sucks.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Maybe it's a blessing.
Early adopting is fine, and if I get some sort of compensation, that's cool. I have an Xbox. I'm busy enough with life, and who I feel really bad for is the people who are only getting one system. And Sony has been quiet and hasn't said shit, and everyone's panicking, and they're trying to play their Call of Duties or their NBA 2K37s or whatever it is.
Right.
And they don't know what's going on, and I feel bad for them. That's why I wrote a long Twitter post the other day, because I'm like, just so you guys know, this is officially what I know, and I've gone through all the steps, and everyone's kind of heard different things, but that's that.
Yeah. God bless it.
But that controller is seriously the most next gen thing about the PlayStation 5.
That's cool. How does it feel
Yeah,
compared to the DualShock 4?
The first thing you'll notice is that like it's not rounded at the bottom, so your fingers want to, like, your pinkies play with the little nubs. They're like shaved off, which is odd.
okay. Yeah.
Apart from that, sounds great, feels great. The triggers and the sound, the HD rumble. At first, that's Astro's Playroom. Like, you're just rumbling too much to rumble, but eventually you sink into it, and it's really great.
That's cool.
And then you get this error code, which means the game's fucked and you can't play it.
Whatever. It's like Eternal Darkness, but just real. Yeah.
Like, who's paying for my therapy, Sony?
Yeah. One thing I am missing, though, and it's also not in the PS5, is, and I knew it wasn't going to be there, but the optical port. They took away the optical audio.
Why do you need that?
I have a nice set of Sennheiser earphones over the ear, wireless.
Don't you have an audio receiver?
I do. It doesn't have an optical out.
Does your TV have an optical out?
Yes, it does. But when I use my projector, I don't go through the TV. So I had to buy a little dongle to pass through HDMI, so it can have it extracts the fucking optical audio. So
That's unfortunate.
it is unfortunate. I mean, Yeah, they took it out because not a lot of people were using it, but I know a lot of people do have the optical, headphones, and I think a lot of the companies are devising ways to get around it because people don't want to buy a brand new set of gaming headphones. But
Yeah.
I am missing that, and I knew I would.
These are the trials and tribulations of early adopting new systems.
It is.
And
God bless you.
I'm happy to talk with you guys about it before telling Dylan, who will laugh in my face.
That's good. It's good. It's cathartic.
If you're listening, Dylan, haha, you got me.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I hope you get your shit solved.
I'll keep you updated. I'm thinking the box should arrive within 2 days. I sent it there. She said turn around 7 to 10 business days. Hopefully within 3 weeks. Ideally, I think 3 weeks is the soonest I'd have a working PlayStation 5. And if the one they send me has that fucking error, look out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom, where are you keeping yours? Is there a closet in here? I got to run to the bathroom quick.
It's on premises. That's what I'm gonna say. It's on the premises.
So is the
right
chloroform
there.
in my backpack.
Right. Yeah.
next to
I'm
his couch.
sitting
I
on
can
it
see
right
it.
now. Actually. Yeah. I'm straddling it.
Yeah, and that was our console updates for today. And since we didn't really have too much of an episode planned, we thought it'd be fun to kind of just talk about movies we think could make fun video games. Some of these things we're going to talk about should never be made into video games. It's just a fun exercise.
I would say most.
Maybe. Well, probably all of them.
At least mine.
Honestly, if someone ever tried to make a video game out of at least one of the things I'm going to pitch, I'll be pissed off because it won't be worth it. But
Damn it.
yeah, this is something that I thought would be like a fun exercise. So yeah, there's not much we need to go about that. Tom, what movie do you think might make a fun video game?
Okay. I had to think about this pretty hard. And the first one that came to me was I'm a huge musical guy, and one of my favorite musical movies of all time is Little Shop of Horrors, directed by Frank Oz, 1986. And I'm like, this might actually be a decent video game. Number one, I mean, if only to bring Rick Moranis back to the realm of voice acting and motion capture, because come on, outside of getting punched in Central Park, the guy needs to do something.
He pokes his head up one time in 10 years and he gets punched.
Assaulted.
Jesus.
So, are you guys familiar with the movie? Have you seen it?
Yes, I'm a big fan, actually.
Seymour.
Seymour. Yep, Seymour Coburn. So he feeds a plant, an alien plant that craves blood, right, through the movie. However, outside of one victim, we never see all the other victims and all the other people that Seymour kills to feed the plant. So I'm thinking, what if we bring back the gameplay of Manhunt? It's like Manhunt with Muppets. And you follow Seymour around as he stealthily kills people in Skid Row.
Refresh my memory. It's been a long time since I've seen this movie. Seymour, he starts off smaller. He grows large.
That's the plant, Audrey too.
The plant.
Yeah, Rick Moranis is Seymour.
He's Seymour. The plant's name is
Audrey too.
Audrey too.
Feed me.
Okay. Audrey actually can PD Piranha and walk out of the house to go get victims, or do the victims have to come to the house?
Seymour would feed him.
Seymour brings the victims. So it's actually you're playing as Seymour going to try and convince people
to basically murder people in cold blood to chop them up and feed them to the plant, because that's how the plant grows.
So they're dead victims when they come to
Not
Audrey
always.
too. No.
So there are times where he convinces them to come into the
shop.
little shop.
Yep.
Because there could be some mini games where you have to dialogue trees, make the right things to get them to come over or something.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, have the soundtrack, the awesome soundtrack by Howard Ashman and Alan Menken in the background, and the girl doo-wop choir who's in the movie would follow you around as you're stealthily stalking your victims, and they'd just be like, "Da-doo," as you were just doing stupid shit like that. And then cutscenes could turn into rhythm sequences where you do sing some of the songs, and then the final level, you finally get to play as the plant in this big fucking Godzilla kind of destroy the city.
Is that where the movie ends?
That is actually the true ending that they shot. where Audrey 2 basically destroys the city and the world. But
Not the theatrical release, I don't think.
yeah, they changed it, or they shot it originally for the movie, and then the test audiences were like, the fuck? This? This is supposed to be like a happy love story, I guess.
Ahead of its time.
Yeah. So you would be Audrey 2 destroying a city, and then lastly, there'd be like a side game where you can perform dental procedures on the model of Bill Murray from the latest Ghostbusters game. So,
Wait, why would you do this with Bill Murray?
because Bill Murray's got a cameo in the movie.
Oh, he does.
Where he's kind of like a dental patient who craves pain. Yeah, from Steve Martin.
Some Black Mirror shit.
Yeah. I recommend you should go back and watch it. It's a great movie. I love it.
All I remember, because I saw it as a younger man, possibly a child, and it was "Feed me, Seymour," and there was like music. I'm like, I don't know what this is. I don't know if I'm scared or I'm loving it.
Oh,
It's both.
Yeah,
you'll love it. Yeah, you should definitely go back and check it out as an adult.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my pitch for Little Shop of Horrors.
So
Somebody go make it, Rockstar.
The point of the game is mostly you're going manhunt style as Seymour with like little cutscenes in between. Essentially, it's kind of like Assassin's Creed 1 where you're getting different missions. Like I need like different hits that you need to.
Just this little nerdy guy that just horrifically murders people. And
maybe you have to get the plant to like certain growth levels to like reach the next stage of the game.
Correct.
And there could be harder victims to kill. Are you thinking it's a shooter? Is it mostly dialogue? Is it stealth?
It's stealthy. Yeah, like it would be like a third person, stealth. Like I said, like Manhunt, and then just some brutal executions.
In kind of like a fun, cartoony-ish world. It's still kind of
like a tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
You get this brutality juxtaposed with the tongue-in-cheek kitschiness of like the 50s doo-wop kind of aesthetic. And, the lovable Rick Moranis being a fucking psychopath.
Oh, jeez.
Because he wants to, date Audrey. So.
I definitely need to watch this movie again. That sounds fun.
Oh, do it.
Yeah.
Now, Dom, I know you didn't have too much time to think about this before you came over.
Yeah, about 10 minutes.
I can go next.
Sure, yeah.
I'll give you a
Absolutely, if you want to. Please.
I have I'm looking at my notes here on my phone, and it's just a list of movies, whereas I'm looking over at Tom's, and he has full-on paragraphs.
But you mentioned your girlfriend Sarah had mentioned someone. What did she suggest?
So right before I was walking out the door, she was like, "Oh, what about Cabin in the Woods?"
Oh yeah,
and I was like, I hated that movie.
You hated Cabin in the Woods?
And that is a very unpopular opinion.
I haven't seen it, by the way.
So. It's fantastic.
So, while I was walking out, she goes, "Cabin in the Woods, you gotta. That's the perfect one because you can do it like Death by Daylight style or Until Dawn style."
Oh yeah, I was thinking Until Dawn or even those like Telltale games,
right?
Which it's more about the choices.
Choose your own adventure, and so basically, what happens in this movie? Again, spoilers. I can't stress this enough, but we will get emails, I'm sure.
No, we won't.
Is this Jennifer Lawrence?
Our Australian listener reached out. You saw that, right?
I did. Yep. Yes.
Good day, mate.
Thanks, mate.
The movie itself, you are trying to figure out what's going on between these teenagers that are trapped at this cabin and these people in this like office boardroom placing bets on how they're going to die. And then it gets to the end and you find out that these people in this boardroom are in this underground bunker that's below the cabin. And they're in there with literally every single horror movie trope locked away in a cabin, and whatever these teenagers are doing up in the cabin, it will release another demon. So like if somebody comes in and like turns on a light switch or
grabs the puzzle cube, it's like every little thing from horror films has like a trigger.
Yeah.
Man, I wish you didn't spoil that for me. That's not what I thought it was. God damn it.
No, it's super meta.
Yeah,
and
it's cool.
Yeah, and
I
essentially
still didn't like it because it got to the end and I was just like, oh.
That the mermaid shows up. It's great.
Yeah, but then it turned into like this weird, like they do it every 7 years.
Sigourney Weaver shows up.
Yeah, Sigourney Weaver does it every 7 years because the gods need to be pleased. It's teenage sacrifices or something else like this. Okay.
That's getting to like the meta point where it's like people came for a horror movie, and that's why at different points they're like, turn up like this chemical to make them horny or more inebriated. And the only character that can resist anything is the stoner, because he's so stoned. He's like, this doesn't make sense. But what's great is the opportunities for, you could choose different items. The replayability, you could have it, keep it simple to like 4 or 5 items in the cabin when you actually get there, and how your main character's Until Dawn style, possibly.
Right.
You're either versus Hellraiser, you're versus zombie cannibals, the mermaids. The mermaids has to be one. There's like it's great if you freeze frame the film when there's the big board, because one of them is like molesting tree.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is there actually a molesting tree in the movie, or is that
Not
just
in
like
the
an
movie,
idea?
but
Reference to Evil Dead, I think.
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good little nod.
But yeah, that was the one that my girlfriend came up with. So apparently she's
Sarah.
better at thinking about movies being turned into video games than I am. 'Cause
Why isn't
the
she, like,
second
designing
she said
games?
that, I was like, of fucking course.
That's great. No, that'd be fun, because you have your main characters, and it's just how they interact with each other and make different decisions. I see in Until Dawn where you're mostly kind of like interacting with the movie, which would be pretty fun.
Yeah.
All right, I'm
I'm
gonna
on board.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
I'm gonna take this. Let's go Taxi Driver next. We'll go Taxi Driver.
You talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. I watched that with Carly for the first time the other day. She's like, "Hey, that's the thing. I heard that.
I heard that before.
Hey,
This guy's an asshole.
that's where it's from.
Is that the guy from that one Adam Sandler movie, Anger Management? Yeah, that's the guy. Which wouldn't make a great.
Did
video
you
game.
like the movie though?
I think so.
Okay, because it can be a little much.
It was one of those things like, we got to watch Taxi Driver tonight. I'm like, I don't know why I'm in a really lonely existential mood. Let's be sad.
All right, together.
That's one of my favorite films of all time. But
me too.
imagine the most beautiful, like dark. It's like Dark City, you know. It's got but it's like lit with all those wet streets with ray tracing, all those like glorious lights shining off.
That'd be a great showcase for ray tracing.
And you start off. It's gonna be open world. I don't want to say it's Grand Theft Auto. It's gonna have an open world feel to it, where mostly you're gonna be taxi driving is the crux of the game. You are gonna wind up in weird scenarios based on who you pick up, and it is going to be
Crazy Taxi Driver.
yeah, Crazy Taxi.
Literally.
That's another game what we could do. It's Crazy Taxi at night, and you just go fucking fast, and you're just like barreling over
Take
people.
me to the porn shop.
Yeah. My wife's fucking that man. That's not me.
That's right.
Martin Scorsese was offered the role of Charles Manson after that.
Nice.
But, yeah, it's primarily going to be taxi driving late at night. The world's going to be populated with like Palatine political stuff. It's going to have like whole side quests where you're learning more about the Harvey Keitel hooker. You can take your date to the porn theater, and eventually, you know, you're going to start having to like level your guy up so you can visit the gun dealer if you make enough money driving your taxi to buy things.
Easy Andy.
Is that his name? Easy Andy.
Easy Andy.
You can buy lewds, uppers, downers, whatever you need. Mm-hmm. So there will be, I imagine, like a good amount of gunplay and stabbing. Like that will all be a part of it. But mostly I see like a really interesting, like late night taxi crime game where you're driving around most of the time. A lot of weird side quests, and you can make decisions on what you do with like whoever hops in your cab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the overarching narrative? Because it has to be narrative driven, right?
It's going to be narrative driven.
Overall arc.
I imagine there comes a point in the game where this will be controversial.
Become Mark David Chapman.
Yeah, you actually can go through with, I will assassinate Palatine, or I will save the child hooker. Mm-hmm. And
yeah,
there will be tons of stuff not in the movie, which I think is what's going to make a lot of it work. But you build your character up, you get a haircut. When you're actually like customizing your guy, you're looking in the mirror, like you look in the mirror, like Robert De Niro does.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm
on board.
Yeah.
Get the Bernard Herrmann soundtrack, man.
Just ray tracing and driving taxi at night to like some beautiful Bernard Herrmann. Yeah, that's
lots of voiceovers or like internal soliloquies as you're driving around. Look at these fuckers, these screwheads.
And yeah, I mean the world's gonna feel real. There's gonna be a lot of like random weird crime and things happening everywhere. It needs to feel gross.
Yeah.
At least because it's Travis Bickle's world, and you're driving around like 60s New York at 2 a.m. So
If they can make a fucking Scarface game, they can make a Taxi Driver game.
I guess it's kind of going to be in the realm of that, but just like so modern and beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah, a most beautiful game about assassination and child prostitution.
Yes.
Yep, and that's why we're talking about games we think movies might make cool games, but these are probably not going to happen.
Yes.
But it's fun to think.
Nolan North is Travis Bickle.
Yeah.
And Troy Baker is Jodie Foster.
And she has to play guitar.
And she plays guitar.
Or
I'm on board.
Or we're going to go the other way, Crazy Taxi Driver, where it's just Crazy Taxi with Travis Bickle as a character. It's all at night, and just imagine like the most filthy, over the top, like you can hear a guy like coming in the backseat while you're driving him to the video store.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that window. That's my wife. She's fucking this other guy.
Just hitting ramps and stuff.
Hey, what a 45 can do to him. Oh my God. That's awesome, Brad. I want it.
Where are we at for time here, Tom?
41.
Okay. Let's do another quick one. We'll do another quick one. I have a quick one here, and it's The Big Lebowski.
Oh,
I was wondering when one of us was going to bring in a sports
I know.
game.
Definitely.
But all it is a bowling game.
Right.
Nothing else from the movie, just a really fucking good bowling game.
Okay.
The characters will be there, and there'll even be DLC packs where you can get the Oh Brother Where Art Thou people, like different Coen Brothers content, like different teams. Mostly though, it's about league bowling. It's a good bowling simulator. Funny dialogue while you're like watching other people bowl, the other team bowl. You can just be like, these fucking it's just Donnie talking. Not Donnie. Not Donnie. What's his name? Walter. It's just Walter talking the whole time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's just mostly about like the dialogue you hear and a really good bowling game.
I'm on
Play
board.
it.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Especially if it's on the Wii.
The final the final bosses you have to bowl against the nihilists.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Yeah, Wii bowling.
That sounds like a whole hell of a lot of fun.
Great soundtrack. I don't know. I just thought nothing's crazy about it that relates to the movie. No. Just a bowling game.
You got to get your CCR tape, man, or your rug. That's
the dude talks about it all the time while you're bowling, and as you play through the season,
Eagles, man.
As you play through the season, you hear more about what's going on, dude.
Right? Yeah.
It's in the background. There's like one point like Walter brings his dog bowling. It's like, dude, this is the league game.
I'm down. I want that.
Yeah.
There should just be a Coen fucking open world Coen-verse movie.
Yeah.
All of the movies wrapped into one, you mean?
Yeah, because I was thinking about like
Fargo.
Fargo, True Grit.
Yeah, or like
True Grit is oh man.
Yeah, bring them all together.
Yeah. I mean that's our two worlds in one, really. The Dakotas and the New Mexicos.
I thought about a fighting game called No Country for Gary Oldman, which is just a fighting game of composed of all the crazy fucking characters that Gary Oldman's played over the years, opposed to square off each other. Are we
No Country for Gary Oldman. I love it.
Are we doing one more?
Yeah,
each?
go for it. Go for it.
Okay. All right. This one, I've been thinking about this one in the back of my head for a while, but this would be the Golden Girls.
I was wondering who was going to bring up the Golden Girls.
Girls of War. So the setup is on the drive back from attending a throwback to Southern hospitality gala dinner, coordinated by Blanche Devereaux. She's saucy, that Blanche.
She's the hot one, right?
Yeah, she's she's a bit of the firecracker.
She's the one who's still getting laid regularly.
Just straight up dick constantly.
Okay.
So she throws this party. All the Golden Girls go. So Dorothy, Blanche, Rose, and Sophia, they're on their way back from this gala, but are inadvertently transported from their Buick Century to a war-torn post-apocalyptic alien dimension.
Okay.
And so in this world, there's two species of aliens that have been at war for millennia for dominance of the dying planet Gelgar, and the four interloping Golden Girls are inadvertently split up between the two factions to command a squad of soldiers in each army. Dorothy is elected to command the tech-savvy race called the Smedalia, and Sophia takes charge of the more world-worn, resourceful Bubanos. Rose and Blanche play lieutenants in each of the factions. So
It plays like Gears of War.
I was
So
going to say, it sounds like the sequel to Army of Two, but it's Army of Four.
exactly. So yes, it would be like a Gears of War kind of
Girls of War.
Girls of War. Yes,
Golden Girls of War.
Golden Girls of War. Yes.
Very good.
So it's like a co-op cover shooter with occasional environmental puzzles to solve, like the Lost Vikings. So each Golden Girl has unique abilities. You know, like Blanche, when she jumps, she can float for a few seconds. Dorothy has a laser stare. Rose can summon the power of Saint Olaf, and so anyways, it's the story sets up for this like epic climax where mother and daughter are forced into like this showdown, where Dorothy and Sophia are forced to choose whether to spare each other's life or continue to feed the war machine with the corpse of the other. And at the end of the story, we all realize it was just because Rose accidentally mixed LSD into the whipped topping of the key lime pie. So.
I think this is a game that, apart from the amazing gameplay, you just want to like play for the cutscenes. Just like hearing them talk in between.
Yes, absolutely. But I want the gameplay to be fucking tight.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, you come for the Golden Girls, but you stay for the blood.
You watch Blanche like rip open an alien skull and like jam a grenade in there.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone who wouldn't want this.
Right. And thank you for being a friend.
Yeah.
Dom. But yeah, I would love to see a Golden Girls game. And in all actuality, I'm surprised no one has made just any kind of Golden Girls game.
You think there'd be like some shovelware, like cheap 8-bit version of something?
Yeah.
Because everything gets those now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. So many of the ideas that I had, I would just Google like somebody had to make an 8-bit version. Yep. Sure enough. So so yeah, Girls of War. Oh come on. Yeah. Razor Hail. That's all I got in that one. So,
What time we got?
47 minutes.
All right. We are going to take a quick break here from some of the other amazing podcasts from the Greenlit Podcast Network. If you need to grab another beer or make sure that your episodes of Golden Girls are still downloading on your new Xbox Series X, because that's the only one that works, then go do that.
Thank you for being a friend.
Feed me, Tom.
Oh, feed me.
Dominic,
Yes.
do you have another movie you'd like to suggest?
So, one of the ones that both me and Sarah like at the same time, I was thinking
Jumanji.
Yeah, right. I was thinking really anything Edgar Wright, because he did Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Which I quite enjoyed, and obviously that one is just a video game movie, clearly. But when you like take any of his works, it's like Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz.
I thought
I think
World's
it's called
End.
World's End.
I thought about World's End. I'm like,
World's End
doing
would
a pub
be
thing.
fucking really good. And then I was like, I had a really great time at the movies when I saw Baby Driver.
Oh, Baby Driver would be a
And-
great one.
And Sarah was like, you know, it would be cool, or not cool, but she thought that, and we both had the same thought right at the same time, and we were both like, what about Drive? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean,
Yes.
you could really. What started this whole thing was Fast and Furious, and I was like, well, I'll stop you right there because they just came out with a new video game, and it's fucking terrible. But
I didn't hate it.
I would love a Baby Driver just because of the music that's in there.
Yeah.
And that's what sparked her thought of me. And both of us literally at the same time, I can't express that enough. We both went, oh, Drive had a great soundtrack too.
Phenomenal soundtrack.
So just driving around the city, trying to hide from the cops.
Yep.
There's the dialogue tree of 2 ellipses or 3 ellipses.
yes. Yep.
Do you keep that toothpick in your mouth?
Yeah.
Or do you take it out?
Yeah. How many seconds do you stare into the rearview mirror
Yeah.
at the person in the back seat?
But I just, for some reason, both of those were, I was immediately fascinated because one of my favorite games, in the PS2 era, I think it was called The Getaway.
Yeah.
Where you play.
I was all of London.
Never played
Right.
it, but yeah, know of it.
When I was that age, when the PS2 was coming out, the fact that there was no map, I had no idea where I was going. You get a mission and they say just go, and the only way that you know where you're going is the blinkers on your car just start going off.
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
And then you just turn that way,
That's
and then all of a
nice.
sudden you're there, and you're what do I do? And then you show up and it's like some guy like, hey, fucking hell, mate.
Aye. Yeah. Put the diamonds in
You
the
gotta put.
box.
Yeah, it's like I gotta put subtitles on. I don't know what
Yeah.
you're saying, Jason
Right.
Statham.
But it's basically a video game about this guy who used to be in the mafia and then got out because he had a wife and kids, and then he got pulled back in because they got kidnapped or something like
They
that.
put me back in.
But I mean, Drive or Baby Driver,
I think-
would be a fantastic style of that type of game.
Baby Driver. That's a great idea. You could marry a driving game with a rhythm game because every action in Baby Driver goes along with the beat of the song that's playing in the background. So I think that'd be a great way to marry the two of those. That's
Right.
never been done.
Have
My knowledge.
you either of you ever played Stuntman Ignition
No.
or any of the Stuntman games? It's essentially you're playing a stuntman in either a like Dukes of. They're not like the Dukes of Hazzard. It's like the Hazards of Dukes. You know, it's like you know what it is. Those boys are getting some fresh air. But it's all about you're a stuntman doing movie stunts, and you'll do like an entire driving scene's worth of stunts, and you have to like hit all of the certain stunts. And if you miss so many, you have to go back to the start of the level. So it's very unrealistic how stunts are actually done because you don't do an entire scene's worth of stunts with one car. It's Batman, but that could be a cool one to mix Baby Driver around because. And also, like, mix in some Grand Theft Auto 5. Like, this is the heist. You can take this road, or this road.
Yep.
Just so you know, if this happens, we'll need to go that way. If that fails.
Yep.
And
Might need to recast Kevin Spacey.
Definitely.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Too soon?
Never.
We're gonna use we're using Bill Cosby on this one.
Oh, right.
You take the left turn and the bodega. Terrible. I haven't done that one in a while. For good reason. Yeah. And bring
Both great.
and the Punisher dudes in there. You got John Hamm, Jamie Foxx,
Yeah.
not Kevin Spacey.
Not
The
yes.
soundtrack will be amazing though.
I totally forgot. Like after we both thought of it, she was like, "Listen to the soundtrack for Drive," and then Bryan Cranston pops up.
Yes.
and Oscar Isaac's in it.
Oh no shit.
And also Ron Livingston or Ron Perlman rather. Sorry, but I was just like,
Yep.
I don't remember this movie at all.
I remember being blown away at how cool it is to not talk.
Yeah.
I was like, I talk way too much. He doesn't say anything, and he gets the lady, and he's cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched it not too long ago again. And yeah, it held up. It was great. I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah. I just love that they give you the dialogue trees, and it's just always saying nothing.
Just ellipses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fart.
Move toothpick or like look away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
That should be the options though. Actually, things that like no matter what the story plays out, the exact same. It's just how you like don't answer.
Yeah. The goose has never been so loose.
Well, I'm gonna pitch one that is
Oh, please do.
it is a video game, but it's more of an experience. It's gonna be for the VR, Oculus or the PlayStation VR.
Dope.
And it is The Shining.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
So
Red Rum.
it's gonna have like some Resident Evil 7-ness to it, also a little bit like Made of Scare. There's no guns.
Yep.
There's almost no stabbies.
Based off the Stephen King miniseries with Rebecca De Mornay and Steven Weber.
Oh man, that
Right.
maze at the ending. There's so much you could do with that. Holy crap.
Well, okay, you're right, Dom. You're wrong, Tom. That the miniseries is fascinating, but no, this is going to be a faithful. I mean, I want there also just be a mode, kind of like exploration mode in Assassin's Creed, where it's just like you can just VR around the hotel outside of the story if you want to, but it's going to be a VR experience. And you jump between the characters, and it's going to faithfully show some things from the movie, and some things that you don't see in the movies. Like so imagine when you're like you're Danny, you actually hold on to your like little VR things like up, like you're
big
holding
wheel?
on to the big wheel, and you actually turn your big wheel by like turning your hands. And part of it'll be like exploring. It's like, today you need to go check out the West Wing of this, and you just like ride around, you go explore things. And then there's going to be some some Jack Torrance stuff where you're learning, because it will go
Sitting at the bar.
well, you're going
the bartender.
There will be that scene. Well, okay. But first you have to learn more about the hotel, kind of like in the books.
Yeah.
In the book, because he like finds that what do you want, like a No, not a typewriter.
Scatman Crothers.
They're like a craft book of like all the newspaper clippings, like that are like
For the Overlook?
For the Overlook,
Yeah.
you'll learn about the history of the Overlook. And It's
Yeah.
one of those things where the game can also explore why is there a bear giving fellatio to an old man.
Why wouldn't there be?
Well, we'll just learn more about them. Why wouldn't there be? Of course, they can do what they want.
I've seen Grizzly Man.
But there's also going to be like Wendy when she's pushing the food cart around, and you actually have to hold like the VR things, like you're pushing the food car. So, Room 237, you see it from Jack's perspective in the movie, but in the game, you're going to be Danny, like, and then I'm going to rewrite a little bit, but you're getting chased by something, and then all of a sudden it says run into this room. And you run into the room, you don't realize it's 237 when you run in, and then all of a sudden you recognize it from the movie, and then like there's a heartbeat going on, and the door like slams behind you, and you're getting drawn over to the bathroom because all we know from the movie is like Danny said there's a crazy woman in the hotel. She tried to strangle him, and that's going to be in VR where you're like like something happens in this room,
That is terrible.
and like then your eyes are going to like go black, and like you faint. And that's when it cuts to Jack Torrance looking down at like a whiskey like glass, and you look up and Lloyd's like, "Good evening, Mr. Torrance," and like you actually will have to like grab the thing with the VR and lift the whiskey up, and then you'll like there'll be a weird sound effect like the whiskey creeping through your body.
That's cool. I like that. Yeah. Are you going to have like an 8-hour mini game where you're just sitting at a typewriter saying all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy?
Yeah, you know that's a good that's a good point.
Next.
Whenever you play as maybe Jack, there's always like you're just finishing up typing, or you sit down to do more typing.
There you go. Well, I'm going to go type.
And it's going to have some sort of like PT elements to it where,
yeah.
I mean, one thing about the movie is it's been just like, there's no way the layout of the hotel actually works from where they move. So you are going to take turns that you think you understand where you're going, and it just leads to different hallways sometimes. And it can just really warp with you. At the very opening, they lose Danny right away when they're getting the tour because you're going to start off as Danny, which is so great. Like in the Arkham VR game, when you play as childhood Bruce Wayne, just like having the perspective down from like a 3-foot high like little kid.
When you look at
it's so weird, especially for someone like you, Tom. You're very tall, so it's like it's very
Stop it.
It's very weird when you're like shrunk down, but like just to be Danny and you're gonna go to the games room, and you have like darts and you can play like pool maybe with that, and that's when the twins show up. But it's gonna be a lot of you think you see things in the distance and you like look back and they're gone.
Yeah. So you got to have the maze, right? Are you going to end it like the book? You're going to end it like the movie?
Well, I'm going to end it like the movie because we're going to end it good. But I mean, there's going to be this. You'll play as Wendy too, like with Jack, like approaching you, and you actually have to pretend you're holding the bat with both of your like VR sticks to hit him, and you actually have to drag Jack in and like use the latch and lock it. And there's going to be a moment where you realize you're using the latch wrong, like Shelley Duvall, Wendy Torrance. But yeah, I mean, and instead of the perspective of like the camera where you see Jack Torrance poke his head through, you'll actually be Wendy cowered in the corner and you won't be able to control anything. Just fun things like that. And it'll, of course, end in the maze. And there won't be like, outside from the bat with Wendy, I don't imagine there being like a lot of knife work or anything. Maybe like when she slices him through the bathroom door, but it's not going to be a shooter. It's going to mostly be an experience in VR. And you can even set it to be like, almost no gameplay mode, just you want to watch it and experience it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I would definitely play that. I think the VR aspect is perfect. I mean, that just lends itself to, I mean, even if it was just like almost like a movie that you just sat through the just the eyes of the people in the movie.
It doesn't have to be anything other than if it was just like a faithful recreation of the hotel, and you could just like go through it and just like look around.
Those fucking drapes.
I love
Oh
it.
my God, yeah,
Yeah.
so good, dude.
That's one that I've thought about for a while.
I don't know why,
man. Yeah,
but
Maybe it's my obsession with Stanley Kubrick. I almost pitched today like, let's talk about Stanley Kubrick movies as video games. Barry Lyndon would be an open world exploration with gambling. But no, we're not going to talk about Barry Lyndon.
Lolita.
Lolita, we're not going to have a Lolita video game.
Maybe.
What could you do with 2001: A Space Odyssey?
But like with Lolita, instead of Dream Daddy, it's like, okay, pass.
Speaking of, my girlfriend is obsessed with Dream Daddy. I bought it for her birthday, and we're having fun.
Yeah.
She's her daddy's getting busy with the other daddies.
Tom, what do you got?
So I have one that's just kind of a collection of mini games because the world needs, like a Mario Party
I was
esque.
about to say, is this a Mario Party type game?
Kind of.
Sounds like it.
But it's based off of the cult classic The Room. Tommy Wiseau.
This is good.
Okay.
Is it for the Game Boy like color?
It's for all platforms. It's for every platform.
Every single one.
There's 20 releases and they're all wildly different,
Right.
and inconsistent.
So this is just really dumb, as most of mine or all of mine have been so far. So just some of the mini games. There'd be like a sex mini game, where you see how many times you can stick it in the belly button. Basically,
It's WarioWare. The Room.
It's basically this game's version of hot coffee.
So funny.
Stick your dick in the belly button. You have 10 seconds.
While that song plays in the background. Oh my god.
Hi.
Yeah, you've seen The Room, right?
No.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, okay. Oh my gosh.
No, I know. I know all about it, but I just can't.
No, it's worth it. It's worth it.
No.
I didn't watch it until it was Tommy Wiseau. I met him for a live recording here. It was the first time I actually saw it.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got obsessed with the fucking thing.
It's
There'd be a one-on-one football tossing mini game between Mark and Tommy where the guy playing Tommy would just intermittently just bull rush fucking Mark while you're playing just out of nowhere and just tackle him. I was thinking, so "Oh Hi Mark" is kind of like one of the famous phrases from the movie.
Yeah.
Oh hi Mark. So I'm thinking like a split 4-player split screen mini game where each player controls like a close up of Tommy Wiseau's face, where every time you hit X, you say, "Oh hi Mark." And everybody's jamming on.
No. But it's got to be. You're not sure when Mark's going to show up, and you have to be the first one to hit it. Like it's a quick draw game. Oh, hi, Mark.
Yeah. So I was just thinking, like, everybody's jamming on X, and everyone's, "Oh, hi, Mark. Oh, hi, Mark." And then you just, like, your voice just increases in pitch constantly. And so being, "Oh, hi, Mark. Oh, hi, Mark." And everybody's like, "Oh, hi, Mark." And then the first one that wins, like,
Their head explodes.
Your head explodes. Yeah. And finally, there'd be a mini game called "You're Tearing Me Apart, Lisa," where
you actually play as Lisa, tearing him apart.
You play as Lisa, and you must saw through his limbs.
And he keeps saying,
with a dozen long stem roses, while simultaneously dialing random phone numbers to various pizza parlors, so you can order pizza delivery service as you're doing that.
"Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh,
Hi, doggy.
Oh, hi, doggy. You're my favorite customer." Yeah, I'm sure there's way more.
And also, just like
I had a tasteless one that I'm not going to.
just
share,
some also. You are the four characters standing on a ball, and the platform gets too small, and someone falls off. Things that are just also just pure mini games that aren't related to the movie.
Or there's one where you're Tommy just staring on the spiral staircase, watching your friends somehow get in your room and like give each other blowjobs, and you're just like staring just ominously from the stairway that's like 3 feet away from these people, and there's no way they couldn't see him. So you have to see the movie down.
Yeah.
How far
gotta
can you
see
throw an empty water bottle?
Yes. And
It's like the wind-up
cheep,
thing
cheep,
from
cheep,
like
cheep.
Smash Brothers or something. Yeah.
Yeah. The possibilities are endless.
I want to see the
Room
Game
is
Boy
best
Color
one.
version. That's the one that I want to play the most.
That would be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
It is the best movie of all time, in my opinion. So
It is a movie.
it sure is.
It sure is.
It sure is.
That's
man.
a good one, though.
That is great. Yeah, the Mario Party aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because the second you said Room, I was like, where is he going with this?
What the fuck? Yeah.
What do you got next, Dom?
I've got a couple things. I got a short one here. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this movie. It's a little on the nose for what's happening in the world right now, not politically or whatever, but everybody's doing a battle royale game now.
Okay.
For inexplicably no reason. Never been interested in one. But have you guys ever seen the movie Battle Royale?
Yeah. A
No.
long time ago.
So
yes.
it's a Japanese film. Correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
because it was also a long time ago for me.
It is. I believe so. It's definitely Asian.
And it's akin to the Hunger Games, where it's a bunch of these like elementary school kids, and they get given these backpacks and just say,
Go for it.
go for it and kill each other. And basically they just run and grab these backpacks and open them up, and whatever they have, that's what they got.
Yeah.
So some people get, a feather, other people get a chainsaw.
I love it.
Yeah.
And it is very brutal. And I think that is what, obviously that's what Battle Royale
That's where they
is.
took them. That's where they got the name from.
Essentially
Yeah.
what it came from. But I think that as the movie is, with it being children and just a total, everything's right there in front of you. You grab it and then you run the fuck away instead of like having to go and find your guns in like a. I don't
Okay,
know
sure.
how
Yep.
Battle Royale games work because I haven't played one. They just don't.
Yeah, you don't
interest me
get
at all.
anything. I think you'd have to go and like use the environment.
Find,
and
find a
shit.
gun. or
Essentially,
whatever,
yeah,
but-
you might know, I guess, if you play more where things load in the world. But,
Yeah, spawn and shit.
Yeah.
but besides that, you don't pay for loadouts. You pay for cosmetics. That's what those games are.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I just
You could also do that with the Hunger Games.
right,
Yeah.
which I think is what Hunger Games kind of stole their idea from. Because even in that, they have backpacks at the beginning. I don't think it's in the movie, but that's like what happens is there's like a bunch of things in the city center, and they have to go and get them.
What year did this movie come out? Or like kind of around when? Is this older?
I'd have to look.
I think it might be
up.
like late 90s.
Okay.
Yeah,
2000s?
it's
I could be wrong.
Very good. I remember watching it and then watching Hunger Games and being like, "What the fuck? This is just Battle Royale."
Right.
And,
That's what I thought too.
And
Yeah.
nobody else knew what the fuck I was talking about. And then 4 years later, Battle Royale became a thing. In
Fucking
video
weeb.
games. And I was like, what the
Yeah.
fuck is this shit? So that's probably why I never really got into Hunger Games, because I was like, Mooch, and then Battle Royale.
There have been a lot of
and
things I
was-
haven't gotten into because I'm like, oh, that's just the takeoff of this other thing
Right.
that I know of and you don't. You know,
Well, and
so
it's
I'm not
you.
gonna.
I
You
refuse.
fucking hipster.
I refused
Yeah.
to watch Game of Thrones for so long. I'm like, it's just Lord of the Rings. And then I watched
right.
it and
Yeah.
I loved it. And then now I feel like an idiot for loving it. Because
Well,
Yeah.
we all feel like idiots for loving it now.
now,
But-
yeah, if we only knew
book-
that.
keep writing, George. Keep
Books
writing,
are so
George.
good. Hey, man, take your time.
Those first 4.5 seasons.
I remember reading message boards 6 years ago, like, it's coming out soon. I can tell.
He's living that retired life in Santa Fe, bro. I'm telling you.
He's living, well, he's not retired. He's writing a book, okay? You can say you're retired, but
yeah,
He's probably more interested in Elden Ring right now.
I'm excited too.
I
I,
hope
guess there's
so.
been some updates
Yeah,
about
same.
someone.
that's something I'll actually
Write
consume.
something. Write something.
Someone like wrote an article. They recently played Elden Ring, and they say it is.
Phil Spencer.
Yeah, they said it is absolutely like the biggest thing they've done,
Really?
and I'm excited for it.
Is that an Xbox exclusive?
Not yet.
Okay.
answer.
The only one I know that's played it is Phil Spencer, so that's why I just figured it was an
Yeah.
Xbox thing.
Phil.
Maybe you're
think
reading between
Phil's-
the lines there.
Yeah,
Hopes-
Phil's
well,
looking
I
to
mean-
acquire some Japanese developers.
I'll buy a fucking Xbox Series S right now if it's coming out for the fucking Xbox.
You're gonna get the
only.
digital only one, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Game Pass, dude.
Yeah.
I keep telling
It's
you,
not as
I don't care
It's
about
not as
Game Pass,
powerful.
but
the
it's
Series
not,
S isn't as powerful, right?
Right. Yeah.
But it's
Can it
still
not do what? It still does 4K.
It
It's
has the SSD too, so it's
Yeah.
just not as fast.
500 gigs.
But it's better than what I got now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's meant to play more at 1080p, or they say 1440p, but who's going to hook it up to a computer monitor,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Unless you do that shit
Right.
for work or
And
have an
because
awesome
I'm a-
monitor.
Because I'm a fan of Nintendo graphics and
It's about the game
quality. Yeah, it's about having a good time.
Yeah, I like that attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I respect it.
Okay.
Respect that.
Next, would you guys want me to pitch something on Assassin's Creed or Left 4 Dead?
That was already an Assassin's Creed movie.
Well, it's like no
right.
something based on the gameplay style.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, what would you rather do, Left 4 Dead
Let's
or?
do Assassin's Creed because I'm wondering if I also have this down or not.
Okay, imagine the most beautiful cell shaded, like modern version of Agrabah, a whole huge world to explore. Aladdin in an open world. You're a thief. You are Aladdin. You're trying to just get laid. You have a monkey. I haven't thought too much into all of it, but it's the gameplay of Assassin's Creed set in Aladdin. It's Aladdin.
Okay, it's Aladdin. Okay,
That is the plot of Aladdin.
It's Aladdin. No, it's. I mean, I haven't given.
Jafar. There's this blue thing and it lives in a lamp.
It's going to be the gameplay of Assassin's Creed, but imagine like the entire world of Agrabah. I think he's a character that would work very well in like a climbing style game. Mm-hmm. It's set in the modern, like that Mesopotamian.
We're talking the first one, like Constantinople, Istanbul,
yes,
whatever.
The very first Assassin's
the
Creed,
Middle East one,
Jerusalem.
Yep, we're going back there, and it's going to have a more cartoony look to it. I mean, or you could go ultra modern if you want to as well.
I'm cool with I'm cool with murder Disney. Let's do it.
Because I don't want him to look real. I don't. He needs to. It needs to look like the Disney movie.
Give it the sucker punch. Do the Sly Cooper cell shaded look on it.
Yeah.
And
did you know they drew him to be like Tom Cruise?
Really?
The original Aladdin, yeah.
I don't want to see this game anymore now.
Wow. That's why he's carrying around his fucking Scientology.
Is that why he's so short?
Yeah.
Maybe.
No,
I don't know.
He's not that short.
I might be confusing him with Abu.
No, I think you're right.
This is Jasmine.
Yeah. Got him, you gangly teeth fuck.
I imagine, though, I mean, it's going to be a pretty straightforward Assassin's Creed style gameplay covering the plot of Aladdin. I want all of Agrabah to be explorable and to be able to climb around all that. The Cave of Wonders will be a great 2 or 3 hour thing where you're going in there. You have to climb everything. And Abu can point things out. He'll be your little tutorial guy.
Very good.
Eventually, you unlock the carpet, which can function as fast travel.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
also, and then there's that scene where it's a quick time event. If you do everything right, you get laid.
Okay.
I can show you the world, and you have to like hit the right, like duck the carpet from hitting like a branch on her face. There's an SNL skit which kind of inspired this, where it's Adam Driver, and she keeps getting like things like birds shitting on her, and she's like, "I'm into it. Just let's slow down a bit." Yeah. And if you do it all right, there's like the fade to black in the bedroom.
Fireworks go off.
Yeah, it's like, I'll call you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
great.
And there's going to be tons of assassinations and subterfuge.
I guess, how do you get around that, right?
It's got to be. Yeah.
No, and there's no assassinations. There is stealing. What you're doing is you're stealing from the guards. You have to run away from the guards. You can't steal them, but you can knock them out
Pickpocket,
with...
yeah.
Yeah, you
You got to
pickpocket
keep
them.
one step ahead of the bread line. Dude, I love it. Like I said, Sucker Punch, do the Sly Cooper. They just did Ghost of Tsushima, which is the best Assassin's Creed game that came out this year. Give it to them.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about Second Son?
Not a big. I played it and like, meh.
They did that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the infamous people. Very infamous people.
I unlocked the bandana where it's his beanie in Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They have
And I
that in
was
there?
like, oh, did they make that game? Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I love that game. I don't have a lot here fleshed out anymore as far as ideas.
You've already had more fleshed out than we did from the get-go.
Yeah.
But I'm a huge Weird Al fan. I'd love to see a UHF video game, even if it's just like a stupid 16-bit side scroller. Like if they can make
Like
a home
the-
improvement fucking game.
Or like the Angry Video Game Nerd 8-bit thing, if you've seen that.
Yeah.
Just like a love letter to everything Weird Al that's like a fun 8-bit side scroller.
There you go. Let's not even make it specifically to UHF outside of like Twinkie Wiener sandwiches being your health item. But yeah, I would just all the fucking Weird Al references.
You have to go through an
Yes.
Amish level. You have
Yeah.
to go through the Eat It level.
Dude, we shouldn't even fucking release this. We should just make this.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I would love to see something like that. Just because I love UHF. That's also one of my favorite movies.
There's a thing where you trigger like the music notes from Mario, but they're all like make accordion sounds when you run through it all to like have the music. You have to hit all of them through like a unique jumping
Al,
puzzle.
get on the phone, man. Let's make this happen. I know people.
That
I
sounds
don't
great.
actually, but
No, we don't. We don't.
I will. I swear to God.
He knows us,
Yeah,
but we're into it.
maybe you know people, but we'd love to like watch this.
Do you guys have any more?
Yeah.
You do?
I mean, I have a few I could go
I
into.
just-
but
I had a Big
Thought of
Lebowski.
Oh, okay.
Wait, no,
actually-
what do you got, Dom?
Well, so I just made that Tom Cruise comment, and then I thought, have you guys played Outer Wilds?
I played about 5 hours of it. Not enough to be like, oh, this is as great as everyone says it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I just thought of Outer Wilds, thinking of Tom Cruise, and I was like, the
Okay, I want to see where this is
Edge
going.
of Tomorrow,
Okay.
where it's like a Call of Duty style Outer Wilds
Time loop?
time loop
Okay,
sort of
yeah,
video
yeah.
game.
I'm happy
I'm
we-
sure
yeah.
that's exactly what Deathloop is probably going to be that's about to come out.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it might have some of those notes, but
But let's not get Tom Cruise's likeness actually licensed. So we have to have something like because they did that Steven Spielberg movie with him.
Minority Report?
Yeah, but they couldn't pay for his likeness for the game, so it's someone who doesn't look like Tom Cruise as the main character.
Let's get that guy back.
Yeah, let's get that guy back.
He needs some work.
And actual Emily Blunt.
Yeah, but everyone else is real. Fuck it, Morgan Freeman's there for some reason, but not Tom Cruise.
Oh, that's so good.
We get John Travolta instead.
Yeah. Also, I have not seen Edge of Tomorrow, and I want to.
Oh,
or
wow,
Live,
yeah.
Die, Repeat, whatever it is. Yeah.
I think that's what they remarketed as because everyone was like, Edge of Tomorrow. I think there's some other movie that
that a
came out.
Pearl Jam song?
Yeah, I think
Come on.
some other movie came out around the same time that had a similar name, and they were like, are these different? And which poor Tom Cruise, and I'm using air quotes here, he had the same thing happened with that Matt Damon movie that came out.
Matt Damon.
Elysium.
Oh, yeah.
And his movie that they both looked exactly the same.
Well, you know what's
Right.
really weird? Because he made The Martian, but then also you go see Interstellar, and he shows up
He's
in
in-
that,
yes.
and I was like,
They're right next
I'm
to
like,
each
is
other.
that the guy from The Martian just showing up in this movie somehow?
Yep.
Because it was very weird to have him like another Matt Damon astronaut in that same like time frame.
Exactly. Yeah, I thought the same thing.
It's like if Tim Allen was on another like Home Improvement style show. I'm like, this is odd to me.
This
yeah.
isn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Come on.
Or if in the Santa Claus, his neighbor, you can't see his face. It's just the fence, you know.
There you go.
Yeah.
Santa Claus, also a great game. That would be a good Bad Santa.
Well, no,
The game?
let's go Santa Claus with Tim Allen here. You actually have to deliver presents like all around the world in one night.
oh, Papa Gijo.
Papa Gijo. There's a prison break, or a prison bake. We actually have to bake in a prison bake
Hey, man.
sequence.
Tinsel. It's not just for decoration.
He's snorting tinsel everywhere
Why do
for
I know
power-ups.
so many quotes from this movie?
Because it's good.
Yeah. Now, did you have the tape of it, like the VHS? Because
Oh,
I think
hell
everybody
yeah. Oh,
had
hell
that.
yeah.
I know I had it, and I don't even know how the fuck I had it.
My desire to pitch a Home Alone game is strong right now, but I'm not going to do it.
Oh,
Do
don't.
they not already have that?
They
Yes.
do, but like, yeah, okay, good
Super
point.
Nintendo, it's horrible. I have it actually. If you want to
Yeah, but if you
jab your eyeballs out.
humor me, if you will, like collect-a-thon and then use what you have.
That's
you
the Nintendo
collected.
game.
Is
That's-
it?
That's the Nintendo game,
shit.
and it's bad.
It's
No, I
shitty.
mean, like-
It's
Yeah.
made by Bethesda.
But I'm.
Is it not?
Home Alone.
Oh,
No, it's
look that up.
THQ.
But what I'm thinking,
No.
what I'm thinking is like a Last of Us style. Like go through the house, find what you can. You have to look in the right places in order to find certain things, and
That'd
then
be
you
awesome.
have to craft these contraptions.
The Last of Us in the style of Home Alone.
Right.
I love
and then
it.
you have to
That'd be cool, yeah.
craft these contraptions to set up these booby traps
be
essentially and place them in a specific place in the house, but it's all like every single time you play it, totally different.
That'd be cool.
You know what I mean?
So I would love where the actual setting up of the
Bethesda Softworks developed the Nintendo game for Home Alone.
did they?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Bring it back, Xbox. Bring
so
it back.
I'm talking about a Skyrim version of Home Alone.
Okay, here we
Skyrim.
go.
We're getting too far out there now.
Okay.
Yeah, going back to the Home Alone thing. Yeah, if you could do it like in the style of The Last of Us, just completely super serious during the setup part where you're doing like the traps, you know,
You're
like,
eating mac and
you're waiting,
cheese.
Just and then you
Like you're
you
wait-
have a timer, right?
Yeah.
And then you just is this how the Nintendo one is? You have a timer?
No, it's
No,
just
it's-
just active.
Every floor is like a level, and it's shitty. Like
Oh.
tennis rackets chase you around.
This needs
you
to
have
be
a
a game-
timer to go find everything that you possibly can and make these.
but to
traps.
have it as
Replayability needs to be factored in,
Right,
where it's like
exactly.
it needs to play differently no matter which traps you
Yeah.
set up and
Right.
stuff. Survive for 2 hours, you're given a half an hour setup.
Yeah.
It's almost like the Friday the 13th game Where you could have multiplayer, 2 people play as the bandits, and like 1 person plays as Kevin, who is overpowered as shit.
Sure.
And the bandits are like the real main stars of the game. Like, how are you going to catch this shithead?
But I think it would be funny. Yeah, like the setup part is just super uber serious, fucking life or death while you're setting up the traps. And then once you have the traps set, then the burglars just come. They're like, "Hey, Mon, let's try to get in here."
And we're all alone.
And Ellie just goes up and just stabs fucking Joe Pesci in the fucking throat, just like game over.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
I get here?
right.
Yeah.
You strucker, records.
So I'm going to go in the vein of Breath of the Wild,
Okay.
Princess Mononoke.
Ooh.
Have you seen Princess Mononoke, Tom?
No.
Okay. It is.
I haven't seen any Ghibli.
It's my favorite animated film of all time. You're essentially playing a prince of this tribe who has been cursed by a demon, and you have like this strange power to like do special supernatural kills with your arm. There's multiple factions that this is the main character is trying to just get everyone to stop killing each other, while he also has to like
Murder everybody?
murder everyone
Yeah.
that's killing each other to stop them.
But he doesn't.
There's a million different tribes you could do. So it's going to be kind of like Breath of the Wild. There's going to be a lot of crafting. You have to make your own food. You can go through this forest with all the little Udama spirits, whatever you call them. I forget their names.
The little.
The little.
Yeah.
I'll put the sound in here,
Yeah.
unless I don't want to.
It'll be the naughty dog
But
quote.
there'll be a whole like side quest like series for this one, and that one. In the very end, the final boss, you don't have to kill, you have to save. Everyone's trying to kill the boss, and you're doing everything you can to save the spirit from being killed.
Yeah.
And
Interesting.
That's very good.
you'll have to see the movie because people, because Dom is,
You were gonna talk about Mononoke. I did not think you were gonna do Breath of the Wild.
I was initially
which
thinking
is like-
Skyrim, but no, this
No,
Breath of the Wild's
that's
much
good.
better.
That's really good.
That's cool.
Because
Yeah.
you can go to different parts of the nation or whatever it is and do all the different
And yeah, and you
quests and
build
that's the
up
movie essentially.
build up relationships with all the different tribes and
Yeah.
stuff, and you're working with the wolf army and you're speaking with the boar army, and eventually you're gonna have to choose which faction you side with, kind of almost like Mass Effect-ish in a way, where it's like,
Right.
do you side with Tally, who is wrong, or the Geth, who are right? Which is controversial, but it's true. Yeah, and at the end, if you've done enough work, the goal is to save the spirit of the forest.
That's excellent.
I think it's really good.
Yeah, no, that's really good.
Is there a super fuckable fish prince in the game?
Billy Bob Thornton's
Billy Bob Thornton's in the game.
Oh, Sling Blade! What a great game! Yeah.
So
shouldn't have done that.
Yes. No, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
And while we briefly mentioned Mass Effect, let's just go ahead and say there should be a Mandalorian game based on Mass Effect style of gameplay.
How was that Mandalorian?
Oh man, you haven't seen it? You have 4K versions of like the Phantom Menace, and you haven't watched the Mandalorian.
I do not. Please don't put that in anybody's head. I do not have any of the fucking prequels
In 4K, you have 4K.
4K.
Blu-ray.
Yeah, I do. But they came in a set.
We watched Phantom Menace the other night.
Yeah.
I will
At one
say
point, Carly's
this.
like, "Does Jar Jar need to be on that much?" Because she laughed at like one thing he did, and then she's like, "He's getting a lot of time on this movie." I was like, "Yeah."
a lot of time.
was
You
the
had a-
first time
You had a
seeing
good
it.
agent. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
care what universe you're from. That was a pretty fun movie for me when I was a kid.
Phantom Menace still has some rewatchability. They could cut out a lot of things.
I would watch that over Attack of the Clones.
Agreed.
A million, bajillion, fajillion times.
Agreed.
I didn't mind the prequels.
People didn't realize that
So,
the first one was not going to be great, so everyone still thought it was the new hot Star Wars. Attack of the Clones, everyone's like, "Oh, we're making one of these."
Yeah. Yeah.
You could tell.
Wow. Not great.
But Mandalorian's very good. And I think just like a sci-fi open world where eventually the goal is to figure out what to do with Baby Yoda would be fun. And it's got like an Elizabeth style where you have to kind of look out for him, but mostly Baby Yoda kind of helps you and can look out for himself and like do little force maneuvers.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of the first season, I think, or maybe half of the first season. But
Oh, you would know.
something they're doing.
This is the way.
They're very tastefully able to work in stuff from the Clone Wars series, from some of the stuff in the video games. They're actually working in, which is
they're certainly doing a lot of that in the second season.
they're doing some appropriate fan service, which I think that would be fun.
And they're using the Unreal Engine.
I did
awesome.
I did check out Fallen Order the other day. I was very impressed with the first level.
Oh, did you?
I did the whole first level. I was very impressed with it.
Dylan texted me too. He's like, I just downloaded this. This is pretty good. It's like the most Uncharted fucking Star Wars game. I'm like, it's really.
Does it not hold up?
Like I told him, like the Unchartedness is at the peak of its powers at that first level. It's very impressive. As the game goes on, it did some things where I'm like, okay, the sequel is going to be awesome. This isn't quite doing it for me, but I still finished it and I still enjoyed it.
Who's the lady that got fired from or left Uncharted? That like basically made
Amy Hennig?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't she supposed to make the next Star Wars game?
They had so EA made Fallen Order, which was made by Respawn. But sorry, Brad, getting off on a tangent here.
That's good. Go for it.
Okay. But Amy Hennig supposedly had another Star Wars game in the Uncharted vein in development called Project Ragtag was like the name of it. And that one got shut down. And I think it got
if they kind of took at least that first level and went, this is pretty good. Maybe we should build on this.
No, I think this was done separately, but I think EA looked at Fallen Order and said, okay, this is way farther along. You guys have a vision or something that EA said, like, we don't want to have like two competing, the same style of game here. Let's shut this one down. Unfortunately, but Fallen Order is directed by Stig Asmussen, who did God of War 3.
Oh, okay.
So he's got a good pedigree and was like the fucking designer of God of War 2 or the art director.
Anyway, wouldn't it be cool if like Star Wars made a video game?
That whole time you guys were talking, I'm just imagining that final boss in Princess Mononoke now, where it's everyone trying to kill like the spirit of the Force, and you're desperately like killing everyone, trying to like. Can you imagine that health bar just like it's getting low and you're getting frantic? That'd be cool.
You just gotta like stop him from getting shot once. That's insane.
Yeah. And I think that'd be
because
there's
got to be murdering.
Because if you've been doing your job with all the factions, it's easier because you can know how to speak to them better. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tom, did you have another one you wanted to pitch?
I really don't. I
mentioned The Big Lebowski.
I did, but I wrote down the title of the thing here. I actually thought someone else was going to say it, so I'm glad you did because. But yeah, I really don't have anything else. I did also write down There Will Be Blood. Is there a way that we can make a There Will Be Blood video game?
No, because I can't see it.
I'm a big fan of Daniel Plainview.
Add it to your The Room mini game where you
he
suck
just walks
somebody's milkshake faster than the other.
It's just a milkshake sucking simulator.
Yeah.
Poor Paul Dano.
Beat Paul Dano with a bowling pin.
Bowling pin, yeah.
I have another one. Left 4 Dead, but Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Okay, what?
Okay. So all the voice acting is the cast of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You can play as Dennis, Mac, Charlie, or Frank. Dee is one of those screaming witch characters.
Okay.
Yep, she's not playable. She's not playable in the game. And essentially, zombies have taken over Philadelphia, and you have to go through some familiar locales from the show. And mostly, it's just funny voice acting with high-quality Left 4 Dead gameplay. And there's like a whole sequence where someone thinks they're infected and dying. Turns out they're just hungover and they needed to get like some alcohol in them. Mm-hmm. You have to go like break into the Philly Stadium. Just any location from the show, you're able to like. It's all kind of lovingly recreated the way that like Arkham Knight touches on like all of Batman's history a little bit in like the little subtle details.
Yep.
There's a whole McPoyle sequence where you have to go deal with you have to make an agreement with the McPoyles on their farm. And they like betray you, but you think you're safe to like hide out there for a while.
Oh my god, I can't wait for the scene where you open the fridge and you go, oh, "There's the rum ham."
No, you're like,
You use
you're like,
a rum
where'd you put the
ham to
rum
throw
ham
it as
in
like
the
a-
fridge? And you open
Right.
it, and it's just like milk.
Nice.
And Frank looks scared as shit. We got to get out of here. There's one. The DLC is the Jersey Shore, where you have to go to Jersey Shore for some reason.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but Left 4 Dead with Always Sunny characters. I always saw that in my head as like a really fun thing.
That is
That would be
pretty
cool.
funny, yeah.
Like a comedic fucking multiplayer like co-op.
Because,
experience.
the gameplay is so great in Left 4 Dead, but ultimately the story kind of falls flat, and it's like, fuck it. Give it to a cast of 4 people that I want to just listen to them ramble about nothing.
Sure.
And I'd love it. Yeah. There could be a whole like Dayman sequence where Charlie can like get superpowers for like maybe it's just him having a drug. He accidentally takes drugs or he huffs paint. And there's the whole Dayman like 8-bit scenario maybe where it turns into an 8-bit game.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
On a more
great-
serious note.
Oh no, here comes Schindler's List.
Oh god, no.
In the vein
Jeez
of Mario
Louise.
Galaxy.
I told you Sophie's choice.
No, I was thinking more in the vein of like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, but The Boys in the Hood.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen that.
I have not. I have it. I've been waiting to like finally watch
It's
it.
a pretty gritty watch.
I probably know every
Yeah.
song on the soundtrack.
Oh, definitely. But the story itself is fantastic. But I'm pretty sure that San Andreas is like fairly loosely based on it.
Okay.
But narratively, it's a coming of age tale of these guys in high school that have to like live on the streets and do some fucking crazy shit.
Yep.
But I just think it'd be cool to get, Ice Cube and Lawrence
awesome.
Fishburne and Cuba Gooding Jr. back to
To do
a
that.
video game
Because I know
San Andreas.
like San Andreas.
a more serious
San Andreas
style.
was kind of an homage to Boys in the Hood, like Menace to Society, like the Singleton and who directed Boys in the Hood?
I couldn't
Spike
tell you.
Lee?
Spike Lee?
Was it?
Maybe.
I don't think so.
But
it was
while
very-
the
why am I
entire
not
time I
thinking?
was playing San Andreas, that was all I was thinking about.
I think it was John
Wouldn't
Singleton.
it be cool if this was more serious and like Boys in the Hood?
John Singleton.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know that one's not like funny, but I just
They
think
don't
that
have
would
to be.
be.
They don't
yeah.
all have to be home
No,
alone.
it's okay, man.
I just
like,
think that would be a pretty like narratively like I'm a
Abs-
huge into narrative games, so I think that one would be pretty cool to just
I hate them all.
really.
Yeah.
I
No, I'm
don't
just
believe
kidding.
you.
No,
yeah.
same here. Like whenever I talk about games, that's usually the first thing I'm like, the story's pretty okay.
yeah.
You know?
Something I always wanted was that I would daydream about is Skyrim, but if it was Game of Thrones.
Sure.
I think
Did they try that?
I was pitched to them. I don't know if it was George R. R. Martin, but someone approached Bethesda about making a Song of Ice and Fire
Yep.
game. And they're like, "That's cool, but we already have our own thing we're doing." It's like when then the Beatles come to Stanley Kubrick, like, "You want to make Lord of the Rings?" He's like, "That's fine. You're the Beatles, but I'm pretty busy making the real movies I want to make."
Right.
So, was the game that pitched a Telltale game? Because that's the only Game of Thrones game I know.
There was another Game of Thrones game.
No, they actually were pitching before they made Skyrim. They were going to pitch
Yeah.
like your next open world Elder Scrolls after Oblivion. You could do a Song of Ice and Fire.
Oh, damn.
I think there was a Game of Thrones RPG though.
Yeah,
it didn't do very well.
The
It got shitty
Telltale one
reviews.
was bad.
Telltale one, yeah,
I know
wasn't
there's
good.
some mobile games and shit like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's something I would like to see.
yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be cool. I just hope he finishes the book so we can figure out how they can make that into a video game.
Okay,
I
so
like the way the
let's
TV show ended.
let's
I'm fine
go
with it.
Avengers Civil
Just
War,
kidding.
but as Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Avengers as Smash Brothers.
Yeah, just
Why not? Give us all of them in a fighting game.
call it Avengers Assemble
Yep.
Boom.
or whatever.
That's already the title of probably 10 shitty mobile games, but
probably.
I don't know. I think you have so many characters with unique fighting styles, and I don't like the Injustice style of fighting. I don't know if Marvel even has their own version of that. Do they?
Just Marvel versus Capcom.
Which that's fine, but I want something a little more cartoony, and I think Smash Brothers would be great for an Avengers style thing.
I think so.
And also an X-rated Batman v Superman game where Batman is just curb stomping every bad guy.
Just Zack Snyder constantly.
Yeah,
he's the only
Zack
enemy.
Snyder, Zack Snyder plays Batman in the game.
Martha.
A Sucker Punch video game. It already is a video game.
Yeah.
If you've seen Sucker Punch, not the studio, but the actual movie, which I like.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. Not a popular opinion, but I didn't.
I actually
I'd like
really
to
liked
see it. There was a time where I thought Zack Snyder. I mean, he's a Wisconsin boy, so
Is he a Wisconsin boy?
I believe so.
No way.
Appleton?
No shit.
I think so.
Okay.
Maybe we might
We're
have to
not
wiki.
from here.
We're quoting you. We know. I know
Right.
Tom Brokaw's from South Dakota, and the lady from Mad Men, and that's it.
Neil Patrick Harris and Freddie Prinze Jr. from Albuquerque.
Oh, nice.
From what I've heard, Mark Ruffalo is the saint of Wisconsin. That's all I really know.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
the new Orson Welles. Yes.
Does anyone else have any other
21 Jump Street. Infiltrate the dealer, find the supplier.
The TV
Boom.
show or the movie?
Oh, the movie,
Okay.
right? Isn't that, yeah, we're talking movies, right? I don't know.
There was a TV show when Tom was around,
There was actually, yeah.
starring Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
When I was your age, back in the late 70s.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there any?
Fantastic Beast video game. Do they have that yet?
If they do, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's
A
probably
good one would be great.
Starring Johnny Depp.
I can't think of any glaring omissions right now.
There's a lot.
Jumanji. You mentioned Jumanji. That
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, that would be great.
That'd be a good 4-player game. That could be more almost Mario Party style, where you actually are on a board and the different things happen, and there's like different mini games about surviving.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be all right. Yeah, I think all any more of my suggestions are going to be like, let's do a Life of Brian game, man.
Yeah.
well, those are fun too. I don't know. Alien has been made into some video games, but I don't think any good ones.
Isolation's
Isolation's
all
supposed to be all right.
Yeah?
Yeah, I never
right.
played
It's spooky for sure. Fight Club in the vein of Yakuza.
Okay. What about Castlevania in the style of Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula?
that. Oh my God. Have you played
And it's only the first like 10 minutes or 20 minutes of the movie where it's just Keanu Reeves and Dracula's castle, nothing else.
Oh, so have you played the Super Nintendo game? Because that's what it is.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And every fucking every enemy you hit and kill goes, oh God. It's horrible. Yeah.
I
Still
think-
better acting than Keanu Reeves.
One of the scenarios where I think someone was like kind of just dream pitching things like we're doing here might be the Friday the 13th game that actually came out where one person controls
Jason.
Jason.
Yes.
And then everyone else controls the teens.
Did they come out with a Freddy Krueger version of that?
They probably could, but they haven't.
No.
I know
that
they
one would
did,
be a
like,
little different.
Stranger Things and
Yeah. They just took down the servers for the Friday the 13th.
They did.
Really?
Game. Yeah, the public servers. I think people can run private games on that.
oh, okay.
But yeah, that's I never played it. I think something fell through with the license for that.
Oh, really?
So yeah, they had to kind of close it down. But I never played the
Feel bad for people that
the
bought it.
4v1
Yeah.
version of that, or I think they did it a Predator one too.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. From what I remember hearing about it, it didn't
I could be
look
wrong,
good
yeah.
or something.
Okay,
I don't
here's
know.
one that I'd like. The Dark Universe that they pitched with Tom Cruise's Mummy, and they took pictures of all of the actors that will be in the Dark Universe that never happened. Make a fighting game out of
all those.
out of all of those, like with Javier Bardem as Frankenstein's monster, which they never shot, but just like this is what could have happened with all of them.
Yeah.
In these roles.
Did they actually have makeup tests with that shit?
Yeah,
They took a Vanity Fair cover, I think it was, of all of the actors that were going to be the different roles in the
And
Dark Universe.
Johnny
including
Depp
as the Invisible
hilariously
Man.
is the Invisible Man.
If they did shoot it, he wouldn't be invisible the
Ever.
entire time.
Ever. No.
Nope.
Right.
Because
No.
it's like, it's like the joke in Deadpool too. It's like you have Brad Pitt as the invisible guy.
Yes.
Which is funny in that, but if you, it's like Game of Thrones. If you hire a handsome actor to fight in a war scene, he's not going to wear a helmet. You need to see that pretty face.
Yeah. You got to see
the
those
money,
luscious
baby.
locks.
Locks.
Yeah, Angelina Jolie was going to be the Bride of Frankenstein, and
Okay.
They had like a pretty good cast, and they
Sure.
just fucked it.
Well,
hard.
The Mummy was The Mummy.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
You can't fuck yourself like that.
They tried to DC it, where they were like, "Let's do everything right now, all at once, and not flesh out any characters, and just hope that everyone loves it immediately."
Yeah.
You can't do that. You got to get Robert Downey Jr. in there first.
Absolutely.
Crazy taxi driver.
I am talking to you.
You can play as Travis Bickle or a 12-year-old prostitute or Harvey Keitel. Crazy taxi
man.
driver.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Just like super fast versions of
just
all
like
of that,
Albert-
like saxophone.
Albert Brooks.
Yeah.
What is
I see what you're doing. You think you're funny, huh?
You think you're funny? Yeah. Wow.
Would
Well, you're not.
Come on, man.
either of you be
Can't do it.
interested in a Big Trouble in Little China video game?
Yes.
I looked that up. Yeah, and I saw there was already a video game.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Oh,
But that was on my
damn. It must
It's
suck.
the NES, so it's past the statute of limitations.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how it would be played, but I would freaking love one of those for sure. And
I'm-
I feel like it could be like a Nier Automata style, not like Nier, but where it could just be every type of video game in one video
yes.
game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's like Kung Fu Fighting, there's Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Kurt
Just
Russell
weird
demands
shit
to
going
be
on in
in a video
San
game.
Francisco. One of the best movies, in my opinion, ever made.
Speaking of Kurt
I
Russell,
love it so much.
I haven't played that game Among Us, I think it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Inglorious Bastards. Among Us style. You don't know
Who's Secret Hitler?
who's Secret Hitler.
Just that pub scene? Yeah.
Oh, not in Inglorious Bastards. The Hateful Eight. I meant to say the Hateful Eight.
okay.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Either way. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that is Among Us, essentially.
or Reservoir Dogs, where everyone's like a different
You
character
don't- oh
trapped
my
in the warehouse.
So
Already a
many,
game, though.
Yeah.
But
that I have to play. Josh
Reservoir
has it.
Dogs?
No, not the
Complete
but-
PS.
No,
but-
but
let's
you
do it,
don't
but
know
in-
who the undercover cop is.
Oh, like
no,
a-
you do the bank heist, and it's a PS2 game, and it's bad. Josh has that?
Yeah.
No,
I haven't
what
played
I'm
it. I
saying
want to
is
play it.
Among Us style.
Yeah,
you
which-
don't know who the undercover cop is in Reservoir
That doesn't
Dogs. You
exist
have to-
yet.
Right.
That doesn't
I thought
exist.
that's what you were pitching.
No, there's
I'm
a
Mr. Periwinkle.
No, I am pitching that. I am pitching either Reservoir Dogs or Hateful Eight, where you are in one location and it's Among Us, and you have to try and figure out who is the bad murderer person. That would be fun.
That would be cool, actually. Yeah.
I was wondering when one of us was going to bring up a Quentin Tarantino movie.
I mean, Kill Bill could be a really fucking awesome hack and slash game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Volume
I mean,
one, for
I'm,
sure.
I'm
All
seeing
both
it
of
in the
them, yeah.
vein
Yeah.
of like a kind of crappy PS1, PS2 hack and slash, where it's the gameplay's fine, but mostly it's just like you kind of bought it, so you're playing it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely. I always thought Last of Us 2 was a lot like a Kill Bill, at least the first half of that game. I don't know if you guys played that at all, but a lot of revenge things.
Yeah.
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 Not so much.
Any Tarantino movie could probably make a decent video game if you thought hard enough.
If you tried hard enough, like Pulp Fiction. I thought about Pulp Fiction today. I'm like, oh,
That one would be tough.
that would be tough. Yeah.
Shoot 'em up.
A boxing game. Get to play all the boxing.
A dance simulator.
Yes.
Wait, Saturday
heroin fucking overdose revival like simulator.
Saturday Night Fever, DDR.
I
Or
would fucking love that. dude.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. I think that'd be great.
well, let's bring it home here. We could do this all night.
I feel like we could.
If any of you have any thoughts on what we could do with some of these ideas, or if you have your own ideas you want to pitch to us, we'll bring them up on our next episode.
Dude.
We want to
gotta
hear it.
these.
Definitely reach out. Reach out to us at hairthedogcast@gmail.com. We're on Facebook and Instagram at just Hair the Dogcast.
Yep.
And Twitter at Hot Dogcast. I imagine we might have some new listeners from the whole PS5 debacle. So if you are dealing with that same error code, thanks for checking this out. And I will keep you posted. And hopefully you keep me posted if you have any updates too, because I am very curious to fucking know when I can play Spider-Man.
Yeah. I still feel sorry for all you guys. Hopefully, if some of you, when you're listening to this, things have brightened up for you and you can actually play now. So,
Well, it's going to be, if you're listening to this at a later date, yeah.
Yes.
But if you're listening to this when
Maybe
it comes
2
out
weeks
on
from now.
Thursday, no, you're not yet. You're still frustrated. But How can they support us elsewhere, Tom?
Well, Brad, you can go ahead and go to patreon.com/hairofthedogcast if you're feeling extra supportive. Is that like a
If you're feeling
like a fine presenter?
Did we make you laugh at all today?
Yeah.
Because was it worth a couple bucks? Help us out, Otherwise, we're all working jobs and to pay for our beer. And if you bought us one beer a month or a year, like that'd be cool.
Yep.
We'll buy you a beer if we see you in person ever.
We have tiers with a whole bunch of different perks and for every budget. So, we definitely appreciate that. And like we always say, if you can't and don't want to, that's fine. We are happy that you are listening.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Go ahead and it'd be awesome if you could leave us a review on your favorite podcast service, like iTunes or Apple Podcasts. God, I'm old. Preferably a positive one. 5 stars would be awesome. But,
And if you're curious, you should follow Lame Dog Dad on Instagram. He's our Australian listener.
Yes.
So check him out. Thanks for checking us out, Lame Dog Dad. That's cool. And Ryan, thanks for beating Nier. I think you beat Nier Automata as well. Ryan Christianek reached out to us, and he actually played the original Nier, which I almost wanted to apologize for, but thanks for checking us out as well.
That's pretty awesome.
We have been the Raw Dogs, and love each other, be kind, but don't love each other in person as much as possible. Let's just get to the get
From a distance.
The Last of Us should not be what we're actually living in real life. It should stay a video game or a movie is what I'm trying to say.
Brad's been watching a lot of news lately.
I've been watching too much news. It's in the background while I play Tetris Effect, so I don't know what the news looks like, but it sounds bad.
I'm trying to quit.
Yeah. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Crazy taxi driver.
I was about to say, do you guys have like a catchphrase or what is this?
Sometimes, I don't know. Dylan has a different catchphrase every week.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
It's